Hi, we're going to be looking at the develop your skills portion of Word Chapter 2 right now. And I'm just going to go through the book here and show you how it works using the Word version that is on the school computers, which is probably it'll be the most current desktop version of Word. And we can just go through that together. Okay, so I am now on Develop your skills W2-1. It says in this exercise, we will insert a table into a document and use selection and navigation techniques. And then we're going to enter some data in the table. So I'm not going to read the instructions verbatim here, but I'm just going to go through them each one by one. The first thing I'm going to do is, before we start, is to create a new folder to put my homework in. An unexpected error. That's great. Okay, we'll do it on the desktop. It'll be easier. New folder. We're going to call this assignment 2. And that's just where we're going to save our homework. So we'll go back in here. And for this one, we're actually going to be starting a blank document. So we will be using job contacts later, but right now we're just going to be starting a brand new document. I'm going to go in here. We're going to start Word and blank document. It should just opens up to a blank document. So there you go. We are going to save this as W2-D1 Stella resume. Go in here, save as, browse and find that folder that I just made. We're going to call this Stella resume. You can put the, okay, well, I'll do it just for the sake of being accurate. W2-D1 Stella resume. Okay, and what we're going to do now is first thing it has us do, this isn't totally necessary, but it's to turn on the paragraph formatting. This is basically just to show the behind the scenes formatting that's going on the document. Now what we're going to do is create a 2x4 table from the ribbon. We'll go to the Insert tab on the ribbon. At some point, hold up, there we go. We'll select table, and then we're going to make a 2x4. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is through step 4. I've created that table. Now, it's just showing you basically a few different ways to add or take away cells in this table. So I can just kind of show you here for step 5. Hover the mouse over the left margin and use the selection arrow to select a row, which is that. You see, you do have a little bit like the mouse, the cursor will switch to a lot of different, different icons here. What you want is just your sort of regular old pointer. If you get that and you click there, you'll select the entire row. You click there, you'll click there, you'll get the entire row. The move handle, which is right here, it looks like a little plus or a cross, selects the entire table and you can move it. I'm going to undo that because we don't want to move it that far down, but that's how it works. And hover the mouse into the top border of the table using the down pointing black mouse. It's right here, and this will select all of the columns. So if you want to select a row, it's that. You want to select a column, it's that. If you want to move the whole darn thing or select the whole darn thing, you select that. And that's pretty much everything about step 5. Step 6 is we're going to navigate the table, and it is pretty much you can tab through. So here I'm in the top left cell. If I hit tab, it's just going to cycle through each of the cells. You can see my little cursor popping through. And then if you hit shift tab, it will go backwards. It's kind of that's a little tip for any kind of tabbing. If you're going across a page, shift tab will take you back. Okay. If we, and for a table this small, it's not super necessary. But here on step 6, you say Alt page up and page down to get to the top or a bottom of a column. Alt page up, Alt page down. You can see my cursor moves up and down there. Obviously, this thing is tiny. You could click and click, but if you had a larger one, it might make sense. Now what I'm going to do is go into this first cell here, and I'm going to type in this information, Stella Martin, blah, blah, blah. I am going to pause the video. I'll just start typing Stella Martin and I'll hit enter. And you'll see that as I hit enter, the cell gets bigger. 127 Stevens Street here. And so I'm just going to pause it while I type in pause the video while I type the rest of the thing in so you don't have to sit here and watch me type. Be right back. Okay, and I've typed it all in. Just a couple tips here is that when you type in the email address, it should automatically give you a hyperlink. Hyperlink is what they want. Do they want you to take that? Yes, they do want the hyperlink. And make sure when you put in that last row, you don't hit enter here because it would give you another line. Instead, you'll just tab out and then tab down there to type in objective and then tab through the rest of it. Now we'll move on to W2D2. And here we will save this. And basically, we're just saving. We sort of completed the first little section here, so we'll have this saved and be done with it. And we'll move on to the next section and save it as something else. Go in here, we'll save this. We save it as W2D2. Here we can already see that it's already saving in my desktop assignment 2 folder. We needed to go check it out. We can go see that it's right here. And we'll save it. The next part is basically about adding and deleting rows to a table like this. They show you a bunch of different ways to do it. They all work the same. As long as you're adding and deleting, any of these ways is as good as the next. It just shows you a few different ways how to do it, because in Word, there's always a few different ways to kind of do a task. So let's see, make sure the insertion point is in the table, which we do. To the left edge between the first and second rows, and then see here we'll get this little plus. And then we click that, click on the plus, and it does insert a row there. We'll leave this row as white, this blank row to add white space between the heading and the rest of the table, so it's just going to be a blank space. Okay, we're going to select the qualifications as its rows. I think we're going to add a couple of rows here. And so we will now right-click on the selected area. We will insert, and I believe it has this insert rows above. It does. There's insert rows above. And there you go. Because we had 2 rows selected and then added those in, we get 2 new rows. So there's got 2 rows. And now select the second blank row, position the mouse in the gray selected area, which I believe is what this is trying to say. And right-click to display the menu. We will delete, let's delete cells. Let's see. I have to use my memory, because remember, if we have the regular mouse cursor, we select the whole row. Now we'll right-click it here, and we will delete the rows. If you just select the one cell, like this guy here, come here. So you're just in that one cell, we'll just get the delete cells. From here, you actually can, I don't know if it talks about it in the chapter, but you can, under cells, go ahead and delete the entire row here if you like. But what it's telling you to do, I'm just going to undo that. What it's telling you to do there, and again, it doesn't matter as long as the row gets deleted, is you'll select the entire row, right-click, and delete the row. Okay. So you use the selection or select experience row. Okay. Experience. Choose insert and insert a row from above. Or a row above. Okay. Click anywhere on the table to deselect the row, which is fine. And insert another row at the bottom of the table as step 13. And here what we can do is we can right-click here, insert, and instead of insert a row above, we will insert a row below. And that's step 13. Now step 14 is we're going to merge some cells and mess with the alignment a little bit here. So we're going to position the selection arrow to the left of the first row to select the row, like so. And now we're going to go to their table tools. and table layout. The only real difference here is, so I'll show you here, when you click off of the table itself here, notice we don't have those blue tabs here, blue ribbon tabs. Those are what are known as contextual ribbon tabs, and they don't show up unless you're actually working in something. So here we have, once I have selected the table here, then we do get these contextual menus here, or contextual ribbon tabs, I should say. So we will go here because we have selected it. We'll go into the layout, table layout, and we have, oh, I deselected the row. I had to reselect the row. And we will merge cells here. And this will just put those two cells together into one. And there we go. So whether that was two different cells, now it's just one. And now in that same layout tab, we will go into alignment, which is right here. And what are we doing here? Okay. Looks like we were just going to center the header data. So all of these, you can see these are like, there's top left, top right, et cetera, et cetera. Here, we are just going to put it right smack dab in the center. And it's going to be for this first cell there. And there we've done it. We have centered the data, bing, bang, boom. And that is all for D2. I'm going to pause the video right quick to set up for 3, and I'll be right back. Of course, we save it before we're done. Okay, we're moving on to step W2-D3. First thing, of course, what we'll do is save it. Let's run a new section here again. I'm just going to go ahead and save it, not show you the file here because I already did. We're just switching this to D3. And again, it will save what we have, and now we'll go and move on to some new stuff. And here we're just basically changing the size on some columns here. First thing it wants us to do is go to the view and show ruler, and it'll put a little ruler here on the vertical line here, or excuse me, the horizontal line. Next thing is, again, this is where, the working with the cursor is a little kind of persnickety here because you have to kind of work with it to get the exact spot here. Because, here it's just in the cell. Here we were going up and down, and here left and right. And then what does it want us to do? Let's select that and go to until the column is actually 1.5 inches wide, which we can use the above ruler to get to that. And there we go. It's about that. Okay, and if we go to the bottom border of objective, here again, you kind of have to feather it, but it's right there. And just make it as big as you want. And that just adjusts as a row. But here, if we click in here into that cell itself, and we go back to that contextual ribbon again, under layout here, we'll have the height. And here the height, in the book, it was 36. Here we've got 63. But what they want you to do is then to go in here and change that to 0.19 inches. When you do that, and it goes back to what it was. Now we're going to enter a little bit of data. We have in the mouse pointer in the second cell of the objective row, which is right here. We're going to write retail computer sales. We do it wrong, but it's going to fix it for me. Hooray, autocorrect. Second cell in qualifications. And we will do okay, hang on a second. I'm going to take a look at this on the next page, see what it's supposed to look like. Okay, there we go. So this will be bulleted. So we're going to go over here to the home. We're going to do a bullet right there, and we're going to write hardware, software. And tap enter. We're going to increase, you're not going to have to watch me type this. If you see the book, there's a lot there. I'm just going to kind of show you what it will look like and how to get there. It says you can increase indent here, which will get to the next tab level. You could also, and I'm going to shift tab here. Oops, not Here I'm going to backspace. And you could tab. Oh, because we're in a cell, it won't work like that. Ha ha. There you go. So we'll hit the tab here. And here, because we are in a cell, we'll have to increase indent. Normally in a document, if you're not in a table, you can do ahead, you can do your bullets here. And if you tab, it just goes to the next level. But being that we're in the table there, it won't work. So I guess I should follow the book. Okay, get that all out of the way now and go back here. So as you can see on in the book here, this is kind of a lot of typing. And so what I'm going to do is, again, pause the video while I type this. If you've got the ebook, you can just cut and paste this. Copy, I should say. But for all of these, it looks like the rest of what we're going to be doing is just going into the cells of the table and typing the stuff out. So again, I'm going to just be pausing it and typing the stuff out. So when I come back, you're going to have a whole resume. Okay, just popping in because there is actually an instruction here on step 14. It's to decrease indent, and basically it's to go from this sort of further down tab back to that full dot filled in one. And this is to just decrease the indent right here. That will go back there. Like you increase to go here, decrease to go back here. Okay, back to type. Okay, and I have done some typing. One thing that I don't feel like the book does a great job of explaining, and I've done it here, is there was an extra blank row here and a blank row here. You'll want to delete both of those because if you don't, you'll actually end up with a second page, which you don't want. You want it to be like this. You only want one blank row, and it's right here, and it should then fall on one page once you delete those rows. And this is it. The last thing it wants us to do here, finally, is let's just look at the print screen. Who really cares? We would click here, print, print. There it is. Hooray. We go back and then we go to layout. And this is a kind of annoying thing about Word and how it labels a couple of the ribbons is that there's the table layout and then the layout. So you could say, hey, go to the layout tab and, well, which one? Well, if we're in the contextual menu, it could be either one, right? We click off of it, but here it's talking about this one. Here it is. We go to the layout tab and to the page setup dialog box. Okay. Do this and click the layout tab, which is right here. And the vertical alignment is to be center. And this will just center it on the page. I don't even really know if we can see it moved at all, but there you go. And those are all of the ones that deal with the Stella resumes. This is what it should look like when you get done. And I've kind of gone over how you get there. Oops, excuse me. I'll turn off the paragraph marks, and that's what it would look like if you read it on the page. So now we're going to move on to job contacts. I've got this saved. Make sure that we save it here, and we will close it. And then we'll go into our folder here and go into job contacts. We'll see what we're doing here. I don't really need a theme. Thanks, though. We'll go in here. We'll file, save as. Here I will have to navigate back to that folder. Desktop. Called it assignment 2, and here we're going to call it job contacts revised. And we save it. Okay. We're going to use Control A to select the entire document because of everything that's on Control A. There it all is. And the document looks unorganized. It does. Now we're going to go to Insert Tables, and we're going to convert the text, which is right here, to a table. So we go to Insert Table, Convert Text to Table, which is right here. Okay. We're going to leave all the default settings. It has, 10 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're all done. We just want to click OK there. And now we've got this table that has been created from that sort of mash of data that was there in front of us. We want to select the entire table. So again, we'll click that little plus. And so here we're going to take out the borders. So table 2 is with tools, design, borders is right here. And we'll go down here to no border, and that's just going to be without borders. Click off of that so that you kind of see it. As the book says, if you select it, you see these little grid lines. Those don't actually show up anywhere. They're just to show you that the different cells are there. Show up anywhere printing, I should say. Okay, now we're going to go in here and we're going to put in some borders. We're going to select the first table row. Oops, we're not going to do that. Let's select first table row, and we go back to the borders, and we're going to select outside borders. Easy for me to say. Go here, outside borders, and it puts this little box around it because it's outside borders. We'll keep the first row selected, it says. Select it again, and we'll do some shading. So again, table design, shading is right here. We will go to gray, accent 3, 25% darker. Gray, light gray. This kind of doesn't matter. It looks like the terminology has changed slightly. No, or is it over here light gray? I was just on the wrong one. I was on the wrong one. So gray, accent 3, darker 25%. Which is, sorry, it's taking so long to find this. Gray, accent 3, darker 25%, which is right here. And of course, it did show it right there on the page of the book, and I didn't look. But there you go. Let's see, and now we'll do some table styles. Table styles are all right here. And as you can see, they're sort of pre-made ways to set a style of a table. And here it has this kind of preview, a lot of them. Okay, let's see, because as you kind of see it behind there, as you select them, it does change them before you sort of commit to it. So there's the full summary. Grid table 5, dark, accent 1. Grid table 5, dark, accent 1. And I wish these were a little bit easier. I mean, they are one, grid table 1, 2, 3, but as far as the accents and the ordering, it's sometimes you do just have to mouse over them and find them. That's the one. And we click it, and then we'll see that too, this does, we did have that gray color. This overrides it because that style is for the whole table. Because we had it selected there. And it'll just put it in that style. Now we're going to change the font, I guess. Yes, the font menu to Century Gothic. Okay, so we'll go in here. We'll select that first row. Go to the home row. Font Century Gothic, which it's under C. Also find the calculator under C. Century Gothic. Oh, right there. Done. It is just that first row, right? Select the first row of the table. Yes. Save the file, but leave it open. So we'll go in here. We'll save it. Pause it and see what we're doing next. Okay, the next part is going to be messing with Stella Resume. So we go in here. Nope, that's just the weird chapter. I'll go here into my assignment 2. D3, we've got this open up again because it looks like we're just going to be taking the borders off of the resume so to make it look a little bit better. And so we have this selected. We're going to select the entire top row and table tools, layout, data, convert to text. And in the dialog box that there is, leave the default paragraph marks option selected and click OK to make it that. And now, so that's removed it from the table. And now we'll remove the borders. And then we'll actually make this better because this needs to be fixed a little bit. This isn't part of the lesson, but I will explain it. So we'll click here, select the entire table, and then we'll take our borders off. back into layout, or was it design? It was design, excuse me. So selected the entire table, go back to table design, borders, no borders. But what we'll do here is these, excuse me, this is too big. The book doesn't tell you how to fix it, but I will. And what we'll do here is we can do this a couple of ways. We can right click and go to paragraph here, or we can go to paragraph here. I'm going to go to paragraph here. And where this thing says the spacing, we're just going to go ahead and make this single spacing. And we're going to put the space after at 0. And this will tighten everything up. See how it tightens up right there, and we get back to one page. Sometimes the spacing options may have changed or just maybe different versions of Word, but if you get sort of like that beefy, too many, kind of looks, things are a little bit too far spread out, and you can do this, with your own resume or in like working with a term paper or something, and it just spacing is funny. Paragraph right here, and this will put how many spaces are behind, like after each line, and then switch it to double or single or however we want to do it. I wanted to do single here so that it'd be on a single page. Clicked OK. There we go. Oh, and we're supposed to save that as Stella Resume 4, which we will do right now. Did that out of order, but it's done. Okay, and that looks to be, excuse me, the entire, D4. Now we'll do D5, which is super duper quick. We have to even save it. We do. So we'll go ahead. So that's all we need for Stella Resume. It has a save and close it. So I've saved it. I'll save it again just to be sure. And we've gone back here. And now we're going to sort a column. Let's see. So we'll go ahead and we will save it as D5 job contacts. And we will sort this thing. The insertion port in the table, so we're somewhere in the table. We'll go to Table Tools, Layout, Data, and Sort. And this gives us, you can sort by a bunch of different, like it's like sort first by this, sort second by this. So it'd be like if you had people from Bellingham and from Ferndale. You could do first sort by city, and then they would put the Bellingham people together and then the Ferndale people together, and then you would sort by last name. And so then you would have alphabetically by last name in Bellingham and then alphabetically by last name in Ferndale. And that's what we're going to be doing here. And let's see what it has you do. Okay, so we're going to choose city. Oh, look at that. We are going to choose city. Must have seen it. And then by company name. So this is actually pretty much just what I was talking about, except it's a bunch of companies instead of people. My list has a header row, so you've got this here, this header row. We don't want that to be sorted, of course, because we want those to be in the same place. So if you say it has a header row, these will be omitted from the sort. They'll stay where they're at. So we will click here and click OK, and we'll see that these move. And then we have these, so you have Elira, I don't know, Lakewood and Parma. So those are alphabetized, and then the ones in Lakewood and the ones in Elyria, maybe, are sorted together. And that is how you sort in that table. You don't really have to print, so we're going to skip D6, and that is that. And that is everything for Word Chapter 2 in the Develop Your Skills section. Then you'll move on to the second parts of the chapter to do your homework, but you'll only be using the things that we've covered in this video. Okay, enjoy. Bye-bye.